Hey, good afternoon. Brian Willett here. Hey, I hope everyone's having a great week, and just thought I'd shoot this little video today, this afternoon, because something that's been on my mind is how do you know if you are out of your comfort zone, right? And so many of us live in our comfort zone, and so how do you really know when you are out of that comfort zone? And so, I was thinking about just my career evolution. And I started thinking about the last 3 or 4 years where I really spent a lot of time in training and development and learning and trying new things. And then I've recently moved into a totally different environment, totally different situation. And I'm thinking about those last 3 or 4 years where I really thought I was growing, where I really thought I was out of my comfort zone. And I'm looking back on that time now and I'm questioning whether or not I really was out of my comfort zone. Or was I thinking I was just out of my comfort zone, right? And so now I find myself in a situation where I'm really outside my comfort zone. And so I was just thinking about, and I'll be curious to hear what your thoughts are on how do you really know when you are out of your comfort zone? What is it? What are the experiences? What are the actions, if you will, that are taking place when you are out of your comfort zone? What is happening? And so the one that comes to mind immediately is fear, right? There's a fear, you're not scared like you're going to die or something, but maybe there's a fear associated with whatever you are doing or whatever you're about to do. There's a fear there. And maybe that's one way to know that you're out of your comfort zone. I know for me personally, I felt like a little bit of anxiety or fear, if you will. Nothing too detrimental, but there may be a little bit of fear that you know that you're out of your comfort zone in the moment. Another thing that I was thinking about is I'm a runner, okay? And so as a runner, it's real easy to fall into a certain pace that you're comfortable with. And so this week I was thinking about putting up a PR, a record, performance record, or a personal record of running. And so I was thinking about how do I go out and put up a personal record? And for me to put up a personal record, it's going to require me to get out of my comfort zone. Okay, and so for me to get out of my comfort zone and put up a personal record, it requires more focus. Okay, so I have to really focus on something. I can't be listening to music. I can't be listening to an audio book. Okay, because for me to get out of that comfort zone, to really stretch myself, I have to be totally focused. So I think that's another way, right, that you know you're out of your comfort zone. It's requiring you to focus. So think about your job, right, or whatever you do on a daily basis. If it doesn't take any focus, okay, meaning focus on really thinking about what you're doing, then you're probably not out of your comfort zone. So I believe to know you're out of your comfort zone, you really have to focus on whatever it is that you're doing. So you're in some type of zone. The other thing that I think about when you know you're out of your comfort zone is you're actually putting some thought into whatever it is you're about to do. Okay, so you're having to think about it before you actually do it. And then there's thought afterwards, okay? Because if you're doing the same thing you've always done, right, and you're happy with your results, you're probably not thinking about it too much before you actually do it. Okay, so if I'm going to go out and I'm going to put up, do a run, and my goal is to put up a 30-minute 5K, I don't have to think about it too much, right? I can go out and do it pretty easily. It doesn't require too much effort. I'm not going to put any thought in it before or put any thought in it afterwards. But if I'm going to go out and put up a personal record, I'm really going to have to think about what am I going to shoot for? What am I going to pace that first mile? What am I going to pace at that second mile and that third mile? So I'm having to think about it. And then I believe you're thinking about it afterwards. So I think that's another way you know you're out of your comfort zone is you're having to put in more thought before and after whatever it is you're doing. I think back in leadership, I can remember having conversations with individuals, And when I would have to have those conversations I've never had before with somebody, I would actually put in a lot of thought on the front end, have the conversation, and then put a lot of thought in the back end, really analyzing how that went. And then obviously, lastly, how do you know you're out of your comfort zone? Is you truly know in the moment you've never been here before. And so what does that require you to do? You have to actually do something you've never done, right? And so this week I actually got out of my comfort zone and found myself in a training environment doing something that I'd never done before, okay? I'll just put it that way. And so I found myself in this training environment with a large group of people doing something I've never challenged myself to do before. And I'll be honest with you, I'll be transparent today over video, is guess what? I messed it up. In the moment, I messed it up. And I was really out of my comfort zone because I tried something new, got me out of my comfort zone. It wasn't going well. And then I actually had to make adjustments in the moment to really make the outcome come out how I wanted it to come. And so that's another way I knew I was out of my comfort zone. And so I'm just curious to hear your thoughts. Please share with me in the comments. How do you know? Share with our audience here, whoever watches this video, how do you know if you're out of your comfort zone? What are the signs? I gave you some of my signs, and that was you truly are scared maybe. You're more focused. When I think about going into something, I got to think something new. I got to think about it a lot before. I got to think about it afterwards. And then lastly, I truly have never been here before, which means I'm trying something new. So those are just some of the ways that I know when I'm out of my comfort zone. I'll be curious to hear what you have to say. And then lastly, the thing I want to point out is when I know I'm out of my comfort zone, or I know I've been out of my comfort zone, when you get out over to the other side of it, what does that feel like? And again, I'll use a running analogy. When I run and I put up a personal record and I really stretch myself during that workout, during that run, typically the next day I am sore, okay? Because I've utilized muscles, or I've challenged myself in such a way that I've not done it in so long that it really required me to stretch. And so the next day I will be sore. And, I was trying to think of a good analogy that when we're stretching ourselves, maybe in our business or in our personal lives, what does that soreness look like after we've stretched ourselves out of our comfort zone? What does it look like in the business perspective? It's real easy to see it in a workout, right? Because you're sore, or the next day, you can't move, or or maybe your muscles get really pumped up, or whatever it may be. And so, what is it in the business sense? And so, those are just some of the ways I know, or I think I know when I'm out of my comfort zone. And so, I'll be curious to hear what you say. Please share in comments. How do you know if you're out of your comfort zone? People would like to hear it. I'd love to hear it. So if you found some value in today's video, please share it with others, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.